I don't see it.
I think you're good to go.
Okay. I am going to call to order the April 19th, 2021 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Elections, and note the presence of all three members. And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any opening election board comments from any of the members? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to public comment on agenda items. Okay, hearing none, and is there any general public comment? Okay, we will move on then to the approval of the minutes. I will make a motion to approve the April 1st, 2021 minutes of the Montgomery County Board of Elections. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arkush. Any board comment? All right, we will move on to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Minutes passed. Our next agenda item is the authorization for the placement of secure ballot collection boxes for the May 18th, 2021 primary election. Mr. Marlette.
Good morning. Since the passage of Act 77 and the expansion of mail-in voting, counties across the Commonwealth, following guidance from the Department of State, have established secure ballot drop boxes for electors to deposit their mail-in ballots. In Montgomery County, we established 11 locations that were used in last year's elections. These were temporary boxes that were made available for specific hours in the weeks leading up to the election. The overwhelmingly positive response to the availability of these boxes and the results of various legal actions reaffirming our ability to use them has led the county and the staff to evaluate establishing permanent secure drop box locations. These permanent locations consist of a larger metal mailbox type drop box that is permanently secured to a concrete pad and is under 24-hour video surveillance when it's available for use. This allows the boxes to be available to voters for the secure delivery of their mail-in ballots 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Jurisdictions nationwide who utilize mail-in voting, as well as several counties within the state of Pennsylvania, have established permanent secure drop box locations that are similar in nature. We have worked with local municipalities and we've entered into agreements for locating the permanent secure boxes in 11 locations across the county. Some of these are in the previously established drop box locations that we used in our elections last year, and some of them are not. The locations I'm asking the board to approve this morning are listed on a sheet that was attached to your agenda. It's titled April 19th, 2021 Secure Ballot Drop Box Locations. These locations are in Cheltenham at the Township Tax Office at 8230 Old York Road, in Lansdale at District Court 38-128 at 430 Pembroke Parkway, in Lower Marion at Ludington Library, 5 South Bryn Mawr Avenue, in Norristown at the Montgomery County Erie Street parking lot at the corner of Erie and DeKalb Streets, in Pottstown at South Hall of the Montgomery County Community College at 101 College Drive, in Royersford at Victory Park in the parking lot at the 2nd Avenue and Arch Street intersection, in Skipack at the Montgomery County 4-H Center at 1015 Bridge Road, in Upper Dublin at the Upper Dublin Library at 520 Virginia Drive, in Upper Frederick at the Green Lane Park Office at 2144 Snyder Road, in Upper Marion at the Upper Marion Township Building at 175 West Valley Forge Road, and in Upper Moreland at the Willow Grove Annex at 102 North York Road. If approved by the board, these boxes will be available at these locations for every election moving forward and would be available for drop-off 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for a period of time leading up to the election that the clerk of the board and the director of mail-in voting would be able to determine based on the number of ballot applications received for any election and the date that the ballots are mailed out, as well as any other factors that may impact when these boxes should be available. The boxes will be under constant video surveillance during these times, and this video footage will be retained by the county. We will have sheriff's deputies that are going to make daily rounds to pick up the ballots from the drop boxes and return them to the Office of Voter Services, where they'll be scanned in as received and securely stored until we commence the canvass of ballots. I want to point out the efforts of our county employees in identifying these locations and working with local officials to get the necessary approval for their use, and would also like to thank all of the locations for their cooperation in this effort. I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have, and I'm requesting that you vote to approve the placement of these boxes.
Okay, I will make a motion that the board approve placing secure permanent ballot collection boxes at the locations listed on the attached document titled April 19th, 2021, Secure Ballot Drop Box Locations for the upcoming municipal primary election to be held May 18th, 2021, and for all subsequent elections, and that the chief clerk of the Board of Elections, in consultation with the Director of Mail-in Elections, be authorized to designate when the collection boxes will be available for use for all elections. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Arkush. Mr. Marlette, I know you mentioned it, but I just want to emphasize again that these ballots will be picked up by our sheriff's deputies each day and brought back to voter services and logged in there?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah. Mr.
Dr.
Chair, I have a
Arkush?
question. Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Marlette, what will these boxes, you mentioned that they'll be secured to a cement slab. Are they going to be there then year round, or will they be removed in between elections?
We have the ability to keep them in place year round, and we can, they have dual locks on both the doors and on the mail slots. And if we were to choose to keep them there year round, we could lock those up, and then we have covers that we could put over them so that they would stay secured and in good shape. And we could go out ahead of opening them every year and to check them and make sure that they're open and ready to go and available for use. I know if we were to consider it, we may have the option to go out and pick them up and bring them back inside if we want to, but we have the discretion to do either one of those two things with those locations.
Okay. And then second question, and it's a bit of a process question, but the night of the election at 8 p.m., yeah. I assume there'll be an individual at every drop box so that at 8 p.m. they're all locked and nobody else can put a ballot in.
Yeah, as we did for the general election last year on election night, we will have sheriffs that are at every one of those drop boxes, and at 8 p.m. they will lock the slots so nothing else can be deposited into those boxes, and then they'll collect those ballots and return them.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Gale?
Yes, I have comment. Thank you. It's my understanding that Act 77, the way it was passed, was unconstitutional due to the fact that in the Pennsylvania Constitution, Article 7, Section 14, lays out parameters for absentee ballot voting. And this new language with 50 days of mail-in voting changes those parameters, which triggers a constitutional amendment, which requires a passage of 2 legislative sessions. Act 77 clearly only passed 1 legislative session, and also requires a voter referendum on the ballot, meaning a yes or no question where the voters decide on election day if they support this constitutional amendment. So due to the fact that none of this took place, I'm not comfortable for voting for these 2 authorizations of the ballot collection boxes and also the satellite office location authorization. For the same reasons I did in 2020, Act 77 was unconstitutional, didn't properly follow the correct process, and I will need a roll call vote for agenda items number G and H. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Washington, roll call vote, please.
Chair Lawrence.
Aye.
Vice Chair Gale.
Opposed.
Commissioner Arkush.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 2-1. Our next item is authorization for the relocation of a satellite office. Mr. Marlette.
Yeah, the Board of Elections in The previous election had approved the establishment of a group of additional offices of our County Board of Elections, and these offices were open for the purposes of operating as needed to assist in serving the electors of Montgomery County and applying for and returning mail-in ballots, as well as any other necessary services relating to the function of the Office of Voter Services. In the time following the conclusion of the general election, we were notified of construction at one of these locations that is going to require moving this office. The particular satellite office is the one that's located at the Pottstown campus of the Montgomery County Community College. And the new location is going to remain on that campus, but it will be in a different building. And the new address, if it is approved by the board this morning, will be at 101 College Drive in Pottstown on the MCCC campus. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have regarding this relocation, and I'm asking that you approve the move to this new address.
All right, I will make a motion that the board approve the relocation of the satellite office currently located at 95 South Hanover Street in Pottstown to 101 College Drive, also in Pottstown. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Arkush. Do we have any board comment? All right, hearing none. Ms. Washington, a roll call vote, please.
Chair Lawrence,
Aye.
Vice Chair Gale,
Opposed?
Commissioner Arkush.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 2-1. Next agenda item, authorization of changes to polling locations. Mr. Marlette.
As I'm sure you all know by now, the Board of Elections has the ability to relocate polling places for whatever purpose they deem fit, as provided by the Pennsylvania Election Code. Today, I have 12 polling places for the board's approval to be relocated for the upcoming election. These moves are due to trying to move more polls out of schools where it's possible for us to do so, and for complying with requests of locations to have these polls moved, and in some instances for certain polling locations that will be observing religious holidays during Election Day this year. The locations that are being asked for approval this morning are on a sheet that was attached to your agenda that is titled April 19th, 2021 polling place relocations. And the precincts and their new locations are Abington 7-2, which will be moving to the Abington Arts Center at 515 Meeting House Road in Jenkintown, Franconia 6 and 7, which will be moving to the Souderton Area District School Office at 760 Lower Road in Souderton, Horsham 3-1, which will be moving to the Horsham VFW Post 9788 at 324 Sawmill Lane in Horsham, Lower Marion 5-1, which will be moving to the Lower Marion School Administration Building at 301 East Montgomery Avenue in Ardmore, Lower Marion 7-2 and 7-3, which will be moving to the Penwyn School at 250 Haverford Road in Wynwood, Lower Salford 5, which will be moving to the Advent Lutheran Church at 470 Landis Road in Harleysville, Lower Salford 6, which will be moving to the Harleysville Fire Company at 274 Culp Road in Harleysville, New Hanover 1, which will be moving to the Hope Community Church at 2732 North Charlotte Street in Gilbertsville, Red Hill, which will be moving to the Upper Perkiomen High School at 2 Walt Road in Pennsburg, and Upper Dublin 7-3, which will be moving to the Upper Dublin Lutheran Church at 411 Susquehanna Road in Ambler. The code requires that notice be posted at the polling locations that we're moving from, and that those locations be notified of that move outside of the 5 days before that move occurs. I have confirmed with staff in our Office of Voter Services that this notice has been posted and these locations have indeed been properly notified. We have communicated these relocations with the local parties, and I might add that the parties have been very helpful in assisting us with identifying locations for some of these moves. Again, I am more than happy to answer any questions you might have about these relocations. And I'm asking for the board to approve moving these 12 polling places this morning.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the relocation of the 12 polling places named on the attached document titled April 19th, 2021 polling place relocations, beginning with the May 18th, 2021 primary election and continuing for all elections going forward. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arkush. Board comment. Mr. Marlett, do you, and maybe Mr. Saltesiak knows if you don't, is this it, or do we have any more that need to be moved before the primary?
The end is in sight. We have 11 more that we need 11. To move. Yeah, we have locations identified and are in various stages of getting those all squared away. So hopefully within the next week, we'll be able to have those solidified and put them before the board for a vote.
Okay. And does the website list if a polling place is going to be moved, and even if we haven't voted on it yet, people start to call when they hear. So can people identify which ones are still not voted upon yet?
I don't know if Mr. Saltesiak has a better answer than I do for that. I'm not familiar with what's on the website right now.
Yes. Yeah, the websites, I'm sorry, the polling places that are in still yet to be confirmed and are expected to at least potentially move if we can't keep them where they are identified on the website. Once you go to find my polling place, there'll be a list of sites that are potentially going to move. And so we would encourage people who are in those precincts to check back on the website over the next week or so until those locations are confirmed.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Marlett? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion passes. Any final board comments? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn the April 19th, 2021 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Elections. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arkush. Any board comment? Move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.